We're back on the deep dive. And if your work connects you with China in any way, maybe investing, trading, building relationships, well, the next couple of weeks really need your full focus. We're diving into the longest and probably most important holiday period of the entire year.
It's a really critical time because you're dealing with two huge events happening almost back to back. A very public celebration of the nation itself, and then this deeply personal tradition focused on family.
Yeah, two very different vibes.
Completely. And understanding the sort of underlying principles, the ideas about respect and doing things the right way that shapes everything during this period, well, that's absolutely key if you want to keep your professional connections strong. It's not really optional.
Okay, let's get specific for 2025 right away. We're looking at October 1st to the 8th. Now, October 1st is Chinese National Day, and the Mid-Autumn Festival often lands right in there, too. These dates together make up the longest holiday of the year. They are definitely the most important holidays in China. So today we're going to talk about the historical origins, fun anecdotes, celebratory customs, and crucially, the business and diplomatic etiquette for both festivals.
Right. And our goal here is really to pull together the key insights from our sources so you get a handle on the, let's say, the tonal shift you need to make. We'll cover that big contrast. National Day, which is all about formal respect for the state, big public displays of national pride, versus Mid-Autumn, which needs a pivot to more personal, almost intimate relationship building. That one's rooted in these ancient moon legends and the idea of family reunion. We'll explore how that kind of dual nature actually opens up some unique ways to connect.
Okay, let's start with National Day then. We're talking modern history here, but as you said, it has deeper roots. The absolute key date is October 1st, 1949. That's the day Chairman Mao Zedong stood at Tian'anmen Gate and proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China.
Exactly. But what's often missed, I think, is how that date taps into something much older. The actual government decision formally making it National Day came a couple of days later, sure. But the idea of the state celebrating its foundation or even a good harvest goes back millennia in China.
Ah, interesting.
So this proclamation effectively took that deep-seated sense of collective celebration and channeled it into this modern holiday focused on national renewal and pride. It's not just politics, it's kind of a continuation of collective identity.
And the stories from that time really bring it to life. We found this great anecdote about just how intense the preparations were for that very first celebration. They call it the Great Band Mishap.
Oh, that one's fantastic. It really shows the pressure, the drive for everything to be perfect. The sources say the military band practicing for that first parade worked so hard under such, immense stress that their sheet music literally fell apart. It got torn up from overuse and maybe the weather just before the big day.
Wow, talk about commitment. So what happened?
Well, the conductor, instead of panicking, apparently managed to reconstruct the entire complex score purely from memory, just in time for the parade.
No way, from memory.
That's the story. And you can imagine that level of dedication, that commitment to pulling off the seemingly impossible must have been incredibly inspiring for everyone involved in watching.
Definitely. And that same kind of meticulous effort went into the decorations too, didn't it?
Yeah.
We see huge flower displays now, but the very first ones had a specific message.
They really did. A message of unity.
Yeah, those first famous handcrafted flower beds, they weren't just thrown together. They were made from recycled fabric petals, sewn together, apparently, over 3 sleepless nights.
Meticulously.
To form a perfect circle of exactly 56 blossoms.
56. And that number wasn't random. It was chosen specifically to symbolize China's 56 officially recognized ethnic groups. So right from the start, you have this powerful visual symbol of comprehensive national unity. It's a theme we'll actually see again with the Mid-Autumn Festival, just on a much more intimate family scale.
Right, the circle. So fast forward to today. What does the listener actually see and experience during this Golden Week?
Well, the most obvious things are the decorations everywhere. Flags, lanterns, those amazing, intricate floral displays.
Very visible.
And of course, there's the famous flag-raising ceremony at Tian'anmen Square at dawn. Thousands of people turn out for that. It's a real moment of collective national reverence.
But the real impact, the takeaway for you as an international professional, is logistical and economic. Golden Week means pretty much a complete halt to normal business life.
Total shutdown.
Yeah, for 7 days, it's all about mass travel within China, people visiting family, and a huge surge in shopping and spending. For things like approvals or keeping supply chains moving smoothly, it's basically an economic black hole for that week.
Okay, so let's dive into the strategy here. For an investor, a diplomat, someone involved in trade, what's the single biggest consequence of that Golden Week shutdown? It's the freeze on bureaucracy. Simple as that. If you're waiting for any kind of government sign-off, a permit, a filing, assume that process stops dead for maybe 10 days, not just the official 8.
Right, the ramp up and ramp down time.
Exactly. This isn't just a vacation. The whole country shifts focus. The critical window is the week before Golden Week. That's when you absolutely have to push your teams to get anything vital finalized, make sure documents are signed, submitted. If you miss that window,
You lose time.
you automatically lose at least 2 weeks on your project timeline. That can seriously impact investment schedules, deal flows, everything.
So the big warning sign: do not book critical, high-stakes meetings or negotiations during Golden Week itself. Offices are closed nationwide, everyone's traveling. Serious, focused business just isn't feasible.
Impossible.
But what about the official side? Diplomatic engagement.
Well, state-level interactions often center around major receptions. These are important signals of goodwill and respect. The premier usually hosts a big National Day reception. It's quite a high-level cocktail event, specifically for foreign diplomats visiting VIPs, prominent overseas Chinese leaders.
So attending matters.
Attending or sending a very senior delegate signals that your organization respects the PRC and its authority. Embassies might host their own reciprocal events too, usually scaled, depending on the bilateral relationship.
Okay. And for businesses planning any engagement around this official period, what's considered best practice?
Precision. Formality. You absolutely have to confirm dates multiple times, way in advance. And being on time, punctual, it's more than just politeness here. It's a sign of deep respect for the state's time and importance.
Basic professionalism, but amplified.
Exactly. And always, always have bilingual business cards ready. Exchange them correctly with 2 hands. This is a moment that demands a formal, respectful, almost deferential tone.
Let's talk gifting protocol then, strategically. What kind of goodwill gift to, say, a government contact during National Day works well? Something that feels thoughtful, not just generic.
Right. You need to signal cultural appreciation and sophistication, but without being so lavish it looks like you're trying to buy influence. That's a fine line.
Tricky.
It is. Think specific, maybe regionally significant items. A piece of high-quality porcelain from a famous kiln like Jingdezhen, perhaps. Or maybe a beautifully produced limited edition book on Chinese art or history. The key is quality and provenance, showing you know something about Chinese culture, not just spending money.
Something that shows you've done your homework maybe on their interests.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
If you know they have an interest in, say, classical poetry, finding something related shows real thought. It becomes a cultural token, not just a corporate gift.
Okay, let's pivot now. We're shifting from that very formal, state-focused National Day to the much warmer, more intimate lunar vibe of the Mid-Autumn Festival. That feels like a huge jump.
Yeah.
How do we connect those two?
Well, you can use that theme of unity again, actually. National Day is about the big collective unity of the nation. Remember the 56 blossoms?
Right.
Mid-Autumn is about the essential private unity of the family, symbolized by the perfect circle of the full moon. And this holiday is ancient. Its first mention is way back in the classic Book of Rites, where it's called Zomki.
And it became hugely popular over time, right? Started with emperors doing moon rituals, but by the Song dynasty, it was a massive celebration across the country.
Exactly. And the symbolism is just so central. It all revolves around the full moon on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. That perfect roundness represents completeness, the harvest, prosperity, and most crucially, that idea of the family circle being whole family reunion.
So the full moon means the family should be full, complete.
Precisely. Being separated from family on this night is the underlying tension, the thing people want to avoid.
Which explains the traditions. Families get together to gaze at the moon, maybe outdoors, on rooftops or balconies. They admire the moon, maybe recite classic poems about longing and reunion.
Yes, lots of famous poetry associated with it. And then the absolute must-have, mooncakes.
Ah, yes. Can't forget the mooncakes.
These round cakes are literally edible symbols of that family circle, of completeness. And for our listeners in business, knowing a bit about the type of mooncake can actually matter.
Oh, how so?
Well, sending any decent box is good. But if you know whether your contact prefers, say, the classic Cantonese style with white lotus seed paste, or maybe the flaky Seuss-style pastry popular in other regions, knowing that little detail, it elevates the gift from just standard procedure to something genuinely thoughtful, shows you pay attention.
Good tip. And the festival culminates in that big family reunion dinner, right? All the generations together.
Yes, a very important meal, often featuring special seasonal foods that have their own symbolism too, like taro for luck or pomelo, which sounds like reunion in some dialects, and its round shape also echoes the moon.
Okay, to really get the feel for Mid-Autumn, you mentioned the legends are important.
Absolutely. You need to understand the stories because they create the whole emotional backdrop for the holiday. And they often revolve around themes of longing, sacrifice, separation.
Let's start with the main one, Chang'e flying to the moon. It begins with a hero, Hu Yi, the archer, who saved the world by shooting down 9 extra suns that were scorching the earth.
That's the one. As a reward, Hao Yu was given the elixir of immortality, but he didn't want to take it alone and leave his wife Chang'e, so he hid it, planning for them to take it together later.
But it didn't work out that way.
No. The legend says a villain tried to steal the elixir while Hao Yu was away. Chang'e, trapped and desperate to keep it out of the wrong hands, drank the whole potion herself.
And the result?
She immediately floated up into the sky, becoming the goddess of the moon. Poor Hao Yi was left behind on Earth, so every mid-autumn night he'd gaze up at the full moon, missing her, and set out fruits and cakes as offerings. It's a powerful story of sacrifice and being separated from loved ones.
Which really highlights why getting together, the reunion part of the festival, feels so important.
Exactly. It's the counterpoint to that sadness.
And Chang'e isn't alone up there, right?
Right.
There's the Jade Rabbit.
Yes, the jade rabbit lives on the moon with her. And what's it doing? It's constantly pounding herbs in a mortar and pestle.
What for?
Trying to create another elixir of eternal life. So the rabbit represents diligence, maybe hope, this endless quiet work. That's why you see rabbit designs on mooncakes and decorations so often.
Okay, diligence, hope. And there's one more figure, Wu Gang.
Wu Gang. His story is more of a cautionary tale. He was a mortal who somehow angered the gods, maybe through arrogance or trying too hard to get immortality himself.
And his punishment.
Eternal, frustrating labor. He was sentenced to chop down a huge laurel tree on the moon, but the tree magically heals itself instantly every time he cuts into it.
Oh, like Sisyphus.
Very similar idea, and an impossible task. It serves as a lesson about, well, humility maybe, and the need for perseverance even when things seem hopeless. Knowing these stories gives you a much richer understanding of the festival's emotional core.
Definitely helps connect the dots. Okay, let's bring this back to practical application in our final segment. Mid-autumn business etiquette. How do we use this cultural understanding to build those vital personal connections?
Right. This is where cultural insight becomes good business practice. Timing, again, is absolutely crucial, but in a different way than National Day.
I hope so.
For mid-autumn, you're sending a gift that's meant to be part of their family celebration, so it has to arrive before the festival begins, ideally giving them time to share it. This means planning delivery for those essential mooncake sets maybe 7, even 10 days in advance.
Wow, that early.
Yes, because if it arrives late, during, or after the holiday, it kind of misses the point. It suggests you weren't thinking ahead, that it was an afterthought. It implies indifference, which is the opposite of what you want.
And that takes serious planning, especially with the Golden Week travel chaos potentially overlapping. Okay, so besides mooncakes, what makes a gift feel appropriate and culturally savvy for mid-autumn?
The gift needs to convey warmth, wishes for family health, and abundance. High-quality fruit baskets are always a good choice, especially with seasonal fruits like really good pomelos. Sophisticated tea sets are also excellent.
Things the whole family can enjoy.
Exactly, but the absolutely critical part is the presentation, specifically the card. You need a handwritten, thoughtful greeting card. And it shouldn't just wish your contact well. It must explicitly wish their entire family harmony, happiness, completeness, tuan yuan, reunion. The gesture is aimed at the home, the family unit, not just the individual at the office.
That's a key distinction. Aim for the family. Now, pitfalls. We know the basics like avoiding sharp objects, but what's a more strategic mistake someone might make with gifting here?
Giving something that feels purely individualistic or overly corporate. Sending, say, an expensive tech gadget for their desk, or maybe a bottle of high-end single malt whiskey meant just for them.
Misses the point.
Completely misses the emotional mark for mid-autumn. The gift needs to feel like it contributes to the family's shared happiness and togetherness. You're trying to symbolically join their family circle for a moment, show you respect that part of their life.
So it's less about the business transaction and more about acknowledging their role within their family.
Precisely. You're showing you value their life outside of work, which is huge for building that deeper, long-term trust, that guangxi. And one last thing. After you know the gift has been delivered, make a quick, genuine phone call or send a personal email.
Not just a standard corporate message.
No, something short and warm, just reinforcing those good wishes for them and the family. It shows you really mean it, that you care about the spirit of the holiday. It closes the loop nicely. So we've really covered two very different terrains, haven't we? The grand, formal stage of National Day, and then the intimate, moonlit retreat of Mid-Autumn. It's vital to remember this duality. You need that state-level formality, the proper NEP for National Day to show political respect. But then you immediately need to pivot to warm personal gestures that build trust by respecting the family during Mid-Autumn. Getting both right is really key for effective, sustainable engagement in China.
Absolutely. And as you watch these holidays play out, maybe you see the news reports of Golden Week travel, or perhaps you receive a box of mooncakes yourself.
Yeah.
Here's something to think about. If we connect this to the bigger picture, how might that deep cultural focus on unity, which we see in both the 56 blossoms symbolizing the nation and the family circle under the mid-autumn moon, how might that shape your long-term relationship strategy in China?
It's fundamental.
It really dictates so much, doesn't it? From who you should try to meet, to how you phrase an email, even how you present a simple gift. It's all about building trust, layer by layer, respecting both the collective and the personal, something to definitely mull over.
A very profound thought to carry forward.
Well, thanks for diving deep into the sources with us today.
Your comments really encourage us to realize our video value and update more useful information. Please press like and subscribe us, not to miss the possibility to understand and make money in trades with China.